same in developed countries, man. We're still trying to catch up. We're maxing them in Canada, enjoying life there, sipping on iced tea. Yeah. So just to go through the intros again. Obviously myself, I go by the name of Neo, also known as the Wise. Got Mpo, Mike over there in the bottom left. In Central, we got Canada representing the Canadian colors and the Red Devil colors too. Maximilian, don't get the name confused. He's got it. Then we got Geleti on the bottom right over there, and we got Keketso in the top right. All of us have that pinch of Manchester United bias, and this is unfiltered, and we unscripted, and we're just out here talking football. So, gents, I'd like to maybe start off, before we even get to the Manchester United stuff. I see that there's some tough things happening in the world, especially with George Floyd. The guys in the Bundesliga actually took some stands in the last game. It was Sancho, I believe it's McKennie, as well as Thuram, who actually just did a post to show solidarity towards George Floyd. And now the German FA are investigating the three brothers. What are your thoughts on that?
Jadon Sancho should come to United and he won't have any problems.
Exactly. If this, I might say that maybe with the British media, those guys would be like, yeah, come on. But now the Germans are like, oh, we got to investigate it. So I mean, when I read the article, and I also just saw a few videos from a few of the veterans or the alumni. They basically said that it's a basic process. So whenever people take political stands or poses, they have to just do an investigation. But I saw that the chairman of FIFA, said that they should treat this just as common sense because it's not a stand. It's not like we're going. It's not like a Hitler pose. It's actually fighting for human rights. And then I can't remember the names of the guys who were actually talking on one of the podcasts I was listening to, but they said, I mean, the German league is about anti-racism, pro-equality. So this is a stand for the things that they stand for. But hey, man.
Yeah, but it's too big an issue for them to actually come out negative, I think. Like if they come out and they tell the guys that listen, you guys are being suspended for like 2 weeks because of this, can you imagine what's going to happen to the Bundesliga? Nah,
But I think it would have been so much more interesting if soccer was open and it would to happen, and then we could see if more soccer players would have done it.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
I mean, you were mentioning before about Chelsea and Liverpool taking a stand. Is it genuine? Is it not? Why hasn't Man U done anything? Where's Lingard, huh? What's happening? Where's Jay Wings?
He doesn't perform.
I saw Bruno has been behind quite a bit. Paul posted, Rashford also posted about it. So, but there was just nothing from the actual United account doing anything.
Yeah.
Do we expect the club to have results?
Of course, I mean, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And then if we say we stand for gay rights and human rights, then we need to take a stand against the nonsense that goes on in terms of police brutality. We can't women and women not to protest or speak out against injustice. That's the main whatever 365 days a year will come for.
But where does it end? There's so many injustices in the world. I mean, United will come out every week with a new iPad or new sort of issue in the world. It's a United place to be the vanguard to change. I understand that there's a club, obviously, against society.
I'm not going to say we should be but I mean, in the Premier League, it's been known that they're spoken against racism and discrimination. And then events that have been linked to what goes on in England, that's racism. And I'm also happy to say for this, all of us, we are socially against what goes on in this America, and we stand firmly with black rights.
Of course.
No, I'm 100% with Alex. I think because of FIFA's stance saying no to racism, all of those things having happened, you'd expect the soccer club to. I mean, it's right along that path. You'd expect the soccer club to come out and say something.
Mm. And
And
also,
also, we are the biggest club in the world, not one of.
and also represent a diverse amount of people. United itself is also a diverse club, you know. So they should actually, well, it should happen, and hopefully it does happen. Hopefully they have their own way of doing it, and they don't necessarily have to do it like the way the other clubs are doing it. They just do it the way United would do it.
I mean, if Adidas and Nike can come together, you know,
That's true.
why can't United actually just make a stand or say something about it?
Mm. I mean, come on, Oli.
Yeah, where's Ole? Ole, remember Ole kept saying in post-match interviews, it's quite silly that we still have to talk about this. You know.
No, it's ridiculous. So, but then again, I mean, we have American owners, so we think that this could be a reflection on the videos of the American owners.
It's an interesting point.
That's an interesting point. That's actually an interesting
Then
point.
it is close to home for them. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Well, if we're going to make an owners, they should be the first one to jump aboard the bandwagon and announce what's going on.
Yeah, the profile, the glazes on many people.
You as the rest of the people.
Mm. That's a good point.
Maybe they get in trouble with those.
Mm.
Well, man,
There's a lot of negative, what do you call, I say negative opinion about the Glazers out there. This is a great opportunity for them to come out and show what character they actually have in regards to racial equality and how they promote the United band.
Yeah, it definitely would have been some positive publicity for them.
Mm.
Definitely.
The Glazers also talking about.
Yeah. I would just rather it be genuine. I mean, you don't really want people adding voices just for the sake of adding voices. You want people to actually believe. The proof is going to be in the pudding. So if it is that they come out, would you believe it? I don't know how many of us would believe.
Because, I mean, we're going to jump into a different debate. I just think the whole race thing has been going on for so long that at some point you just want to change it, whether it comes from people who are doing it genuinely or not. After a while, maybe it'll hit genuine levels, but for now, you just like change.
Just do it.
Hashtag Twitter.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we need to inspire you where people are ashamed to be called racist. Not even the guts to stand in the kitchen and kill someone when you put it there and think it's alright.
No, 100%. I'm with you, Max.
2020. No.
So, you saw this white privilege hashtag on Twitter. So the interesting thing now is K-pop fans jump onto that and start spreading like a lot of K-pop to sort of diffuse that narrative of white privilege.
Oh,
that's crazy. K-pop.
Actually, such an interesting thing. Let's check it out.
Yeah, if you tag us on Twitter or something, let's see.
It takes us back to the whole Black Lives Matter.
Ah.
Yeah.
If this is internalizing something, maybe something big was,
I mean, look, this is huge, man. I was saying to my girl, like, I've never seen, and maybe it doesn't mean anything, but I've never seen so many people participate in a movement at the same time. I mean, now I'm talking from a social media perspective. Fair enough, a lot of those people are probably just jumping on the bandwagon. But for me, like, when I was on Instagram yesterday, all I saw was black, throughout the whole day. And maybe not, and what that does for me, what that says to me in particular is that, it just cannot be ignored. And what I said to my girl, yeah, it's way too big. And what I said to my girl was, you know, Because she was talking about what about tomorrow in the future, and I said, the only thing we can hope for is obviously now, we believe in hope that justice will be served in this particular case. But now it's just about how this can be used as an example to spur even further movements. And these guys in football as well, kind of bringing it back home. They need to be doing a lot more of this. These guys are out there, the people who adore them. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of racist Manchester United fans and viewers, in the same stadium, and they probably just cheer on for Rashford and them. It's like, yeah, you're owned by the club, so we support you. So these guys need to, as much as possible, like just do a stand, dude, because it's not going to stop here. It's just another pit stop on the road of racism that we've been traveling on.
No, I 100% agree with it. From that perspective, I mean, soccer has had so much racism even before this with the Sterlings and everything. So it would have been great to see more of the stance from them. But has anyone seen anything from Syria? Because I mean, we all know that they have huge problems.
That's awkward. You can't.
But I'm just saying that would be like, wow. If like Italian teams.
This is you. This is you, Syria. Really?
Oh, please.
This you. Say no to racism. Really?
Oh, please. Those guys have
But
been
how would
stirring
you
the pot.
react if like you were jamming for United and then or any sort of huge club and you're in the stadium, you're playing, and then you start to hear like the whistles and the monkey chants and bananas and all that. Like, do you think that would like just get you off your game?
For me, it fires me up because I want to retaliate, and one of the ways then to retaliate by scoring 3 goals against the opposition that same day. Give it the performance of your life. Because I think yeah. Go ahead.
No, I think that's what happens with most of them because they're professionals. That's why they stay on the field and actually continue playing. I think it's exactly that.
That's tough, though.
But I don't think we should look down on guys that are like the Balotellis who are just like, I'm out. Because I'm entertaining you, I want to continue dancing for you or whatever. I don't think, I mean, you would expect your teammates to walk with you if you are walking off. That would be my feel.
I mean, you're still getting paid your salary. They're the ones who pay for the ticket.
That's true. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
I wonder if there's little differences like within class, like within like squad, like especially like the early days, like guys were just coming into becoming superstars and stuff. Was there any bias and stuff? Because you hear stories, like like always talking about I'm sad he called me or something like that. It's so dynamics, because I mean sports you don't really hear about. Like all of those things, like homosexuality and racism and all that's like kept within the.
The funny thing about sport, actually racism, is that people are directly racist to who they want to be racist to. It is not consistent. So what I'm trying to say is you might find your team loves you because they recognize, they respect your ability. But the kind of another teammate, another team's teammate, then it is no more personal. It is now impersonal to have all that to the that's what they think is right.
Yeah.
I mean, John Kelly didn't have a case about being accused of being racist and then actually called it a something racist. Who was that truth?
I can't remember. That guy lost the badge, man. He lost the captain's armband.
I think what I'm making that people are only racist when they don't know that they're racist too.
Yeah.
Because if they were fondness with the way that they interact with it, it's a lot harder to look at someone as a human being.
When you can connect with them, when there's something that bothers you, that's true.
That's 100% true. And you actually have guys who won't be racist to teammates because this is my black friend. And like, I know we're in the same cause. But then when he goes out that night, He'll be the first dude to slap a black guy in the pub.
Mm.
You know.
But that's not his black guy. That's not his chosen black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's each next point 100%. Like those things,
yeah.
man. This is about a black friend,
Mm.
Uh,
No, that's very good.
Yeah, so there's a long way to go in sports. I mean, in terms of from a racist perspective, and this is also just like uncovered some of that. And maybe just and not to put a lid on it, but maybe just for the sake of time, maybe turn on something a little bit lighter. We have about 2 weeks exactly where we're getting the first Premier League game. It's the first entry. Arsenal, Man City versus Arsenal. Come on, Man City. Come on.
But
What do you guys think?
apparently Arsenal is Arsenal has been spending. Sorry not to cut you off, but apparently they're broke. Apparently they're broke.
oh man, how can Arsenal?
I was listening to some podcast and they were saying Arsenal is like proper broke. And to be honest, even in the news, you haven't really heard of any Arsenal transfers.
Yeah,
Oh, they almost
that's
lost the other leagues. Almost. then his agent said, no, rumors are not true. He's not going anywhere. In fact, we're negotiating an extension.
Is it a weight problem, infrastructure problem, gate problem? Which one are you going to?
In the pockets. In the pockets.
Coming out of the business. Because I mean, that would be huge. I mean, they look like they're on their way to a rebuild, and then if you're not able to buy now and support that Taylor, what can you do?
I think we will see a very interesting transfer window. Like clubs don't have the same cash that they had before, and they don't have a lot of soft transfers and stuff. Like, okay, we want Sanchez, okay, give us Pellegrini, cool.
Yeah, Paddy.
But I'm not huge to give up for Sancho.
Lingard, come on, man. Jay come on, man. He's got the Instagram following. Doesn't he have his own underwear line or clothing brand or whatever? Come on, man. Look at that. Borussia.
He might be too old. Don't look like you.
You're not that old. Come on,
No, seriously, who would you give up? If that is the case, who would you give up?
Yeah.
Who would you want Rashford?
The first question is who probably takes. Probably like you say, they take the young, they take the quick, skillful. So I think Rashi would definitely be in there. And then maybe you take Becker. I mean,
Yeah, their goalkeeper's whack, eh?
Yeah, is that a question? Would you give them Greenwood money?
Yo, no.
for Central.
Yeah, for Central. They say Greenwood plus 50.
Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Don't sell your soul.
Greenwood plus 50.
Yeah. Because Greenwood is wrong with 50.
Greenwood plus 60 plus buyback rules that is a solution.
Let him go play with Haaland for a season.
Let's go out level Central.
Which is Greenwood.
At this point, I'm giving Greenwood. I'm giving Pogba.
That's not a bad idea.
That's
not a bad idea. He can learn German, can't he? He can learn German.
Yeah, I understand.
They've got the biggest stadium, I think, with the most fans.
So it's
I'll give them Pogba and Taylor for Central.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I think it should be a little
Yeah,
more
content.
center.
The century is what's at the bottom now.
Nah, give me Sancho plus 20.
Nah.
What the point is there's more real estate than Sancho.
Yeah.
I think he needs his own
They've got that what's his name? Something Cam. They've got that center that attacking midfield.
Who?
Dortmund. They've got that very good attacking midfield.
Emre Can.
No.
They've got it's Julian Brandt.
Yes.
He's not like 27 years old.
No, he's young, dude.
What is Brand?
No, Brandt is like 23, 24. He's 23, 24. Yeah, because he was a teenager when he came into the scene. That's why you know the name.
Oh, that guy was playing for Germany like 20 Euro or something. Euro 2016.
He was young, dude. He's definitely like young. Let me just fact check that.
Fact check.
That's all we're about. Yeah, 24 years old.
24.
Guys, yeah.
He's debut at 18, yeah, that's fine. That's 6 years ago. Okay, I could still be right there.
But Rashford's back in training Pogba. Back in training, so we're looking good.
Yes.
Fair, Pogba. We like Pogba, but the him, man, his mentality is not the right place.
He doesn't want to be there.
Exactly. So why would you want to put yourself under that? If you know this guy doesn't want to be here, get rid of him.
Quick question: if a club initiates a trade, does the player have to agree? Ah, damn.
Doesn't have to be terms only, but
No, doesn't he get paid out, doesn't he? How does it work in the NBA? Or the NFL?
From all the movies I've watched, it's just called in, it calls you off.
Pack your bags, Jeffrey.
Shut up, they woke up in the morning and they got out of the room.
No, but soccer seems a little bit nicer than that. It looks like, because they always say, oh no, they're really personal to us, so it seems like they're personal to us and to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Remember, British was supposed to be in a trade with
Inter.
Paris.
Not Inter.
It was a whole trade situation, but he that's how they do.
That's fair. My kid started learning Spanish. Why the hell must I go uproot myself, take him to a French school, don't even know how to say hello, how are you today? You know? You want me to go through that trauma?
yeah. In America, the contract you only get your guaranteed money. So, and usually that gets paid out at the start of the contract. So, anything thereafter. So, the owners will use to perform, which is staying in the club to get your pay package. Whereas maybe in soccer, it's like, this is how much you're going to get paid per week. And you also have negotiating power in the sense that they can't just fire you and not pay you. We see it all the time with coaches, they get the boot, but they still get the compensation back.
Yo, man. You know, what's more bitter than a grapefruit? In fact, grapefruit's even a little bit too sweet. Vangal. Good lord. That guy just can't let it go, man. I saw he did a dig last week. Was it last week? It's like your turnover is so high, but you still can't get your players.
He won a cup, and then as he's walking up to grab the trophy, he gets told that he's fired. I mean,
It's such a business. Look at your boy Mourinho. What does he do? Instead of going to go make noise, he just got a job at who was it with? BT Sports, or was it? Yeah, he went to go commentate, got some pocket cash. He didn't complain. I never once heard him say, those guys are whack.
But now he's one of the biggest
it's
I think
But to me, when we moved to the Tesla, it was happening faster than 3 years. We were all excited for the FX Club Awards. That was losing intensity and
Yeah,
we
I'm
had
very
to go.
excited.
Until just one thing they happened. And then we were told, nah. Jones decided not to put enough. Jones is coming peace. I can understand why it's power. It's
Hey
like
man,
it makes your numbers at the end of the year and companies like listen to your well, but we don't need you.
You gotta stop playing communicated.
just tell them it's all part of the game, and that's football, and that's life, gentlemen. We gotta wrap it up today, but I mean that's football, that's life. Thank you so much for joining us today. I don't want us to go over. I thought I'd give the people just a little bit more, 5 minutes extra, due to the technical difficulties. I believe that I have an idea of how we can make things a little bit better for next week from a structural perspective in terms of how it looks. But today was a great first day. The first day is always the worst day. It only goes uphill from here. Manchester United is the biggest club in the world, so there will always be news, which means there will always be things for us to discuss. But for those out there who are also listening, as you could hear, as much as we love our team to the death, and it is the biggest club in the world, we're obviously unbiased in the sense of being realistic as well. We speak about other things from other clubs to social issues as much as we can. And this is what we do in a WhatsApp group. We just take shots, we just talk shit, we just keep it moving, and this is what we're gonna keep providing. So I'll advertise, the times and everything for next week. We'll be on the same platform, but I'll be using a different platform. Any last words for all the people out there? I got some. By the way, I got some few comments about people being cute. Like, who are these cute niggas, man?
It's KCS.
Yes, right, yes.
Yeah,
Really
boy.
Elijah.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
will
just talk
not
about that
expose.
next
I will
week
not expose.
as we improve.
Yeah.
Shave AK treatment, though.
All
Yeah.
right. Perfect.
But
No, thanks,
that's
gentlemen.
There's no great trees.
What was that?
No,
No great, no greenish trees.
no
no,
green.
no, really.
Yeah, that's some trouble in the next week, please.
It's
It's
really
clear.
Yeah,
Now we really
I
before I go, I just want to say I like your choice. We stand with your family, and then we pray that things and settle down post relationship.
Amen.
Let's find resolution, conviction, commitment, and fortitude for change.
Anyway, let's find gentlemen. Wherever GGMU.
GGMU.
No doubt.
Needs like a trap remix for that. I'm watching this big on UK drill.
Someone just say something the other day and I had to look up.
Yeah, remember when he did that video with Paul Pogba?